it's Jessica from Ashland Public Library here in Ohio, bringing you your Artsy Animals. So this actually goes along with our summer reading program that's going to last throughout the summer. And if you receive one of our activity bags, this will be included. The first week is Backyard Animals is our theme. And I decided to go ahead and do pinch pot animals with air dry clay. So if you received an activity bag, you should have gotten one of these little silver bags of clay and some instructions if you need them and you don't want to follow along with this lovely video. But we'll just go ahead and get started. Okay, so I've opened up my clay, but basically pinch pots are a technique in clay forming or sculpting where basically you just use your two fingertips and you pinch the clay into the mold that you want. So I'm going to use two of our little packages just so it's a little bigger so you guys can see. But I did make an example. That's my little raccoon, and he is made from one of the packages. So we're going to start by just rolling our clay in a ball. And you want to try and make sure there's hardly any creases in the clay because we don't want our clay to crack. Now with air dry clay, if you have other clay at home, it's a little different if it's not air dry. You can wet the clay and form your finger over the cracks, but with air dry clay, you actually don't want to use water. It'll end up ruining the clay and it'll almost disintegrate. Okay, so I have a nice little ball formed here, just like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our thumb and over your non-dominant hand. So I'm right-handed, so I'm going to put the clay on my left thumb. And you're just going to kind of press into the ball so that it forms a nice little hole like that. And you're going to just keep your thumb in there. And you're going to pinch the clay with your two other fingers around the hole that you created in the bottom. So this will be the bottom of our pinch pot animal. And I think I'm going to go ahead. I thought I was going to do a different animal, but I just really like my little raccoon. So I think I'm going to do another little raccoon. But you can do whatever animal you want. Again, this week is Backyard Animals for our summer reading program. So I'm going to try to stick to something that I would find in my backyard. And I definitely find tons of raccoons in my backyard. They like to ruin all my flowers. Okay. So again, you're just going to keep pinching all the way around. And this is where you're going to get some of those cracks. And you just want to smooth them out as you go. And you do kind of want to plan it out a little bit. So depending on what kind of animal you're going to make, maybe he has a really big tail, like my little raccoon here. If you can see that, he has a nice little tail. So you'll want to pinch off some clay before you form the ball. I'm just going to use one of my other pieces of clay here to form my tail. Okay, so I think I have a pretty nice shape. I actually just want to roll it a little bit and make him a little taller. And I'll show you the kind of shape we have here. Oh, I have a big crack. I'm going to just brush right over it, try and make sure to seal it so it doesn't crack while it dries. The more cracks you have when you're done and you kind of like your little animal the more cracks you have, they will get bigger as it dries. So you really just want to minimize the amount of cracks you have. But I think this looks pretty good. So you don't want to get the inside of your pinch pot too thin on the sides, because again, it'll crack, and you just want a nice little dip in there. But basically, this is going to be the bottom of our pinch pot, so he'll stand up. And you're just going to flip it over, and now we're going to form the face. So the great thing about these pinch pots is from here you can really create whatever animal you want. Like my little raccoon here, I just pinched the face right into it's almost like an oblong ball. So I want to do the nose. So first I'll just kind of pinch a nice little nose. And I'm trying to do up like this and across like this to form one nice little point. And I'll show you here in a minute. He actually is starting to look like an owl. Maybe I'll switch my design here. I don't know, we'll see. That's the best thing about art, right? It's never wrong. You can make it, reform it, whatever you want it to be. Okay, so I think I have it to where I like his little nose. So there we go. You should be able to tell a little bit, see his little nose. And now I want to give him some ears. So I think I am going to make this into a little owl. He has the nice little dip eyes like an owl. And then, so for an owl's ears, I just want them to kind of stick out a little bit. So with my raccoon, I did like 2 pointy ears on each side, but I want these ones to be a little thinner to be the owl. And you just, again, you're going to keep pinching the area until you get exactly what you want for your animal. Aw, I like that little ear. Okay. So there's one. And you can kind of smooth it out if you don't like how big the dip is on the ear. You can kind of smooth it out, but there's my first ear. I don't know if you can see that. And we'll make the other one. Don't forget to let us know what your favorite backyard animal is. You can comment below and let us all know. I'm trying to think of what my favorite backyard animal would be. I don't know if it counts, but I think I would say a hummingbird. All right. And since I am doing an owl, I don't need as big of a tail. So I'm just going to give him a little tail here in the back. But he does need some wings. So maybe I'll probably just draw them in. You can use like a dull pencil or if you have a toothpick. So there's my little owl. You can kind of see the indentations for the wings. And then I gave him a little tail. So from here, your little pinch pot will actually have to dry for anywhere from 2 to 4 days. My first little guy, my little raccoon, I let him dry for about 3 days, and he was fine. He did get some really big cracks in the back here. So again, I just want to warn you to make sure all your cracks are smoothed over, because they will become much larger once they dry. Okay. And then from there, once it dries, you can use markers to color him in. Or for my little raccoon here, I used acrylic paint. You can use just about any kind of paint, but you do want to stay away from watercolors because it just won't work well with the air dry clay. So thank you for joining me this week for Artsy Animals, our Pinch Pot edition, and we'll see you next week. Don't forget to leave a comment below or show us your picture of your Pinch Pot animals.